All right, this is my last time making this attempt to make this video. This is regarding the Domio Sports Pro Bluetooth intercom headset, something that I ordered or started my order back in February of this year. Unfortunately, COVID happened in March, which delayed when I was to get my product. And I had to wait just a little while longer than I expected. It was no problem, but I think most of the problem that I've had with Domio isn't actually the product itself, it's the actual customer service. So with that being said, I'll just give you my experience. So as I said before, I ordered the product back in February of this year, placed my order. And I expected to have a little bit of some time to have to wait, seeing that it was a new product that had just launched and something I was interested in before the launch, finding out about it late last year. So after about 3 weeks or so, I emailed the company and I asked them, when do I expect my product? And of course, because of COVID, they said there's some delays, so it's going to take a little bit longer. So I ended up getting the product and immediately connected. Everything seemed to go well. It was no problem at all. But one of the first things I noticed right out of the box is that I only had one bracket. And if you're familiar with the product, which I'll show you here in a little while, there's a bracket that you affix to your helmet that sticks with 3M tape. And that holds the actual unit into the helmet. And inside the box was a message saying that the second bracket would come later. Great, no problem. Again, I hooked everything up, pretty simple, pretty easy to do. The next thing I noticed is that the app wasn't available for an iOS system. So I have an iPhone, as you can guess from me saying iOS, and it just wasn't available. And I've written a company, asked them about, hey, what's going on with the bracket? What's going on with the app? And I really wasn't getting any responses from them. They didn't respond to the bracket question. That was in a separate email. But days later, they responded to the app question, stating that the app hasn't launched yet for iOS and it should be coming. And when I just responded back to that email about, hey, is there an estimated time? Got no response. So for me, being that I was corresponding with them to ask them certain things, and them not getting back to me, or getting back to me a week later, when their auto statement said it would be within 24 to 48 hours, just became really distressing in terms of what I might experience if I had some service issues that I wanted with this particular product. And so it just kind of became this thing where I would, email to ask a simple support question. I would get no response. And so I decided to return my unit because of that. Because I feel when you launch a new product, it should be ready in every way. Not just the way the product works, but also the support for the way the product works. So here it is now, August 16th, and I've written them several times. And in terms of my questions, it's almost like they just say, hey, that's the guy emailing us. We're not going to get back to him. We're not going to answer any of his questions. And they actually returned my product. If you look on their website, the same address is still up now that I actually returned my product to within the 30-day time period. And they returned it back to me. They rejected it at that address. Which is where they tell you to put it. So it's like I'm forced to have the unit. And to me, that's also something that's very dissatisfactory. Again, I have no problem with the unit. It works as expected. As a matter of fact, in comparing it to my other Bluetooth unit that actually has 2 earphones on each side, this one actually works a whole lot better. At higher speeds, I can hear it better. It has a better bass response all around. It's just a great product. The problem with me is the customer service and the fact that now my legitimate questions regarding this and things that aren't on the website weren't being answered. And they just decided we're not even going to respond to this guy anymore. Like they blocked me. That I have a problem with. And I have a problem with them rejecting, my package when I sent it back within the 30-day time period. Overall, if I had to rate this out of 5 stars, I would say my total experience is a 1. And that's overall everything. The only thing that would increase that to a 3 would be the product. It works, and it works well. I've made phone calls. The music response is great. Again, the bass response is great. The volume is great. When you're going over, 70 miles an hour, you're going to hear a little bit of wind, but I have a great helmet, so it does allow me to hear it. So the product works very well. It's a great idea. But in terms of the overall service and them being ready at launch, I give them a 1. And it's disappointing that I have to do a video instead of having somebody actually respond to me when it comes to my emailed questions. And I'm very dissatisfied with the fact that I have to do that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I understand we're in times of COVID. I understand that it would take long to ship things, but it is August. There hasn't been any response telling me, hey, we know about your order. We're going to ship out your bracket. And electronically, COVID hasn't stopped anything. We can still email, text, phone call, but they've just decided to not respond to me whatsoever. And that part of it is very disappointing. I give it a 1, and if I could go lower to a 0, I would. As a matter of fact, I'd give it a 0. That's my opinion on the Domio Pro. Check the product out, see if you like it, but be cautious of what can happen when it comes to your support and what they do in terms of getting back to you in a timely fashion, if at all, and answering your questions directly. Have a great day. Thanks for your time. Stay safe, everybody.